Okay. You guys hear me?
Hey, Mike.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I've got
About-
22 in here, and I've got, hang on.
Oh no. Hey, Mike.
I've got, hang on, 14 things to look at.
Oh man.
And I should have 22 things to look at.
Hey, what about the architecture thing? Was that homework?
What about it?
What is homework?
It was under assignments.
I thought that was due later.
Under assignments, it says the date.
Oh no.
Mike,
Yeah.
did you get 3 of my thumbnails? Like,
If you put them in there on time, I got them.
yeah, I was gonna do one more, but my stylus ran out of juice. I ran out of battery, so I'm charging it right now.
I don't know what to tell you about that kind of stuff.
I know it happens.
Uh,
I need just one more. That's it. No, but it's like one. It's like saying, "Oh, I just need one more dollar." This not big of a deal, right?
no, here's what it's like. I'm an art director. You sent me your sketches, and I said, hey, I asked you for 5. You go, oh, well, I sent you 4. I go, you're fired. I'm done. I'm getting somebody else. That's what happens in the real world. You do the job you contracted for, or you don't do it at all. Okay?
No.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to take that on a deadline and go, I did 3. I know you asked for 5. Nobody's going to accept that.
Okay, I'm really sorry that I didn't do it. I was busy and I just.
I'm busy too.
Oh man,
I mean, look, here's the thing with all this stuff, because I get this all the time, and I always tell this story. When I decided to transition to doing educational work, I decided to freelance because I needed to so I could be open for classes. And I might have said this in here before. So I was doing 3 full-time jobs. I was doing a full-time freelance in-house job. I was teaching, I don't know, 2 or 3 classes. And then I was doing another job, I think, for Moose Toys. I don't remember. And that was a super involved job. And I was filling up my own sketchbooks. I always make time for my stuff. Part of what you got to learn in college is managing your own schedule. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You got to learn to manage your own schedule, especially if you're going to go out in the world and freelance. And a lot of times things are freelance. You've got to get really locked down if you're going to do freelance. Even if you're working in-house, it doesn't matter. You still got to be super locked down, because you're going to have nutty deadlines. Things are going to overlap in weird ways. It's going to get confusing where you forget what you're working on. It's the reason I've got a notebook here. I put everything on my calendar. Not like I'm infallible, by the way. I just have a kind of a system for it, because with 5 classes, it's really confusing. And I make mistakes on it too. I just did it on scheduling a class. I think the wrong day, or I don't remember what it was. And then I always say, if I screw up, like if I make a mistake with what I say for homework or an assignment or something like that, then I give everybody full credit because it's my fault. And I'll eat it if it's my fault, okay? If I come into this classroom 1 minute late, I don't mark anybody late because that's my fault. I shouldn't be late. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Professor?
Yeah.
I tried to go to the link that was on the announcements under the folder, but it said that my account needed access, and I requested access to it.
All you have to do you have a Google account?
Yeah, I tried. I have 2 emails actually, and I tried with both, and it said both of them needed access to the link.
Access should just mean you should just be signed into Google. You should be fine.
I tried to click the link, and it would just take me to this page. It just says you need access and then request access, and that's pretty much
Somebody
the
in
only
here also put that your folder will disappear. I take your folder out. That's when it disappears. Okay, because I start taking those out like as soon as I get up usually. I go in there and I see if there's anything in there, and I start downloading them and clearing it out. It makes it easier for me to keep track of what's going on in there. Does that make sense? Mackenzie, I don't know what that means because I've never had that problem. I mean, if I'm signed in, the way I do that, I bold it, I make it red, I do all that. So all you have to do is click it and drag it in. And beyond that, I don't know why you wouldn't have access to it. The only thing I know of that would deny you access is a password. It's just being signed in. Does that make sense?
So what do you suggest I do? I mean, I turned it
I don't
into
know on that because I've never seen that problem before. I don't have any of these problems.
Okay.
If I'm signed in, look, I have problems with Google. Like I'm having problems right now. And I think I told you guys this. It's not letting me download. Like I can't just go in and go download folder like I used to be able to do. It just doesn't do it anymore. So I have to go in and download everything individually. And if the folder's like got a huge file in it, then I might have to go and download the file individually. But that's why I start early in the morning. Like as soon as I get up, if you guys have anything in there, I just start downloading it because I need all that time to do it. That's why I have the cutoff at 1 because I really can't go beyond that. Otherwise, I just don't have time to download it. Does that make sense?
Okay, so does that mean I don't get credit for what I tried to turn in?
I'm trying to go by what I have here, right? And I don't know what. Can you show me a screen grab of it? What it's saying?
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot.
Because I don't know what that is. I mean, that's on Google's side or on your side. You know?
You want me to email you the screenshot of it?
Yeah, email a screenshot of it.
Yeah, I understand.
Because sometimes there is weird problems. So somebody else, Natalie says this. Okay, show me a screenshot. And I don't know, maybe it's something I've seen before. I don't think I have, but I can look at it. Okay. Elam. Where's Elam?
Yeah, here.
How come you had an empty folder in there?
Oh, like I told you, I was using it as a placeholder so that I can upload my files, but in the end, I know it's going to be confusing, so that's why
I would
ended up
just
giving you the
put
file.
a folder on your desktop or whatever and just throw them into that and then just throw the whole folder in.
Yeah, makes sense. But did you get my folder?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
What I do is I go in there
Thank you.
right before 1 o'clock and I get everything right up to 1 o'clock and then I close the folder. And then I rename it and I reopen it for the next class. And here's the, okay, it's opening. You guys know you guys don't have class on Monday, right?
Yes.
Yep, late.
Oh, wait a minute. When did you do this?
I tried to do it earlier this morning too, and I was still.
Now, what this
Give me
is I cut access off to that folder at 1 o'clock. So you went in after 1 o'clock. That's what this is for.
Oh, I mean, I was able to turn it in earlier, and then I tried to check if it was still there, and it just gave me that. So I was
think
worried
I have
that
your files.
what I did. I did. You do? Okay, that's great.
Is it MacV?
Yeah. I was
I
just
have
seeing
your
if
file.
it actually made it to the folder.
Okay, what this is when you set it, okay, so what happens is, just so you guys know, 1/2 hour before class, I shut the folder off, and then it's going to say you need access. What that's saying is I cut off access to the folder.
Oh, okay. I
So
was
if
just
anybody got
thinking if
that,
it
it's
was
because they
on
were
it.
trying to put something in after 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I understand
But
now.
you
Thank
put
you.
yours in before I got them. So what you probably did is went in and went, where'd it go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you guys first day, I take them out.
Oh,
I don't want them re-uploaded because it gets confusing. I know this sounds really simple, but it's not, because I'm trying to manage files from 5 different classes, and then I have to reorganize everything, do the video after class, and then put up any links, all the stuff that I give you guys after this class on Canvas, and then I have to file all these. Then I have to load all this stuff onto an external hard drive, then eliminate everything from the day before, and then start all over again. Okay, so it gets confusing for me, and I'm just always trying to manage all these files and all this stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so that's
Thank
the
you.
access thing. Now I know what it is. Okay, so I'm going to go through these, you guys. And it's going to give me a baseline of where everybody is, kind of, okay? Which is good. Okay. By the way, from now, I didn't used to do this. I'm always going to post these like little exercises on assignments, not just for you guys. And the exercises are just 10-point things for me too. So because like I forgot, I couldn't remember what I assigned to my 247 class tomorrow. So I can go into assignments and go, oh, that's right, that's what we're going over. Okay, because again, it gets really confusing. And I know it sounds like no big deal because it's like, yeah, it's 5 classes, not that much. It actually is a pain in the ass to manage. Okay, I'm not complaining about it, but it's on me. Okay, does that all make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, where's Angel at? Angel in here? Hang on.
Hello?
You there?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Just so you guys know, I always, when I come in right at 1:30, I screen grab the class and then I'll screen grab it again, like, I don't know, somewhere halfway through or something. Okay. Oh, you're not seeing my screen. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so, where is it? Angel, what do you think? You there?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, why is there such a lag? Am I lagging?
Oh, no, it's just because of me. Because I'm pressing the space bar, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, okay. So what did you think?
I'm not very
What did you think about doing this?
used to tablets or the drawing tablets doing this.
So you just, the actual hardware?
Hmm?
You're talking about getting used to the hardware?
Yeah, the tablet and the Sketchbook Pro.
And did you run into any problems with that? Other than just trying to get used to it?
Any other problems? Not really. I mean, I guess I didn't know how to like, how do you say this? Like map hotkeys, like
How to do what?
map hotkeys, like Control Z, stuff like that. But for like other things,
Well, Control Z is the same in that. Or commands. Are you on a Mac or a Windows?
I'm on Windows.
Yeah,
Like
so it's going to be Control Z.
No, for example, when I press V, I'm trying to use the brush, so that's how it is in Photoshop.
Oh, no. Everything's not going to be exactly the same as Photoshop. It's pretty similar. I can't remember if, let me open these up. Actually, I should open these up in Sketchbook, not Photoshop. Hang on. Let's see what it does if I try and do multiples, because usually Sketchbook won't let you do that. Yeah, Sketchbook is weird. Okay. Don't want that. Okay, let's go here. There it is. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to import all of these. Yeah, let's do the other two. Okay. So, what I'd say here is it doesn't look to me like you're turning your board. Am I correct? Am I frozen, you guys?
No.
No, you're good so far.
Okay, I want to move on to another one because I'm not getting any response here. Okay, where's Anthony?
I'm right here.
Okay. So what'd you think?
Getting used to the UI in Sketchup Pro is a little bit different, but
Yeah.
I mean, I could have improved, but for rough sketches,
I don't think it's too bad. Get another one. Thought I got them already. I'm gonna I might. Is this doing? This isn't yours. This one is
that
it?
one's not.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get rid of that. I have to get organized here on this. Hang on. Make sure I'm just getting yours. I'll just open them up individually. It's easier. Okay. Again, are we turning our board? Are you turning your board?
I am at times. Sometimes it's a little bit getting used to the flow as far as.
Yeah, I get it. Especially like when you're going back and forth. This is a weird thing. I guess it's not weird because you guys are better at this than older guys like me. Because you're jumping from like Sketchbook to Photoshop. You might be jumping to Maya. I jump in a Premiere all the time and edit video and all this stuff. And you got to recombobulate your brain every time you go into a different program. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So here, like I like the way you started this. This kind of random mark making I'd watch out for. Like is that a tiled roof?
I just kind of wanted to give it a little bit of shadow, a little bit of texture.
Okay, don't worry about shading yet, okay? And the reason I do that is I want to really focus on your line, okay? You've got to learn line control and you've got to learn line quality. And then you can move into like shading and things like that, okay? Yeah? Is this rounded here? Am I lagging, you guys?
Yes, for me, you are a little bit.
Okay. Is this a rounded thing right here?
Yes.
Okay, so I might give it a little more of that. And again, I'd have to turn, oops. I don't want that, hang on. I'd have to turn my board. That way I can get like a nice flow right here. Turn it back. One thing I haven't found on Sketchbook is when you turn the board in Illustrator, when you rotate the page, or not Illustrator, Photoshop, you can just hit escape and it goes back to 0. I haven't found a hotkey for that in here, okay? And I've actually looked, I just haven't found it. Okay, so like when you're talking about these kind of areas here, this in here, you want to sort of get simplified, okay? So if these are coming out, and these are sort of buttresses, it's what they look like. And it's going to turn a little more this way. Going to turn a little more this way. It'll take me about 20 minutes for my hands to actually warm up. Okay, so then this and this need to sort of line up a little bit, and I'd clarify them a little bit. Like if I'm looking at it this way, oops, I might be looking at it this way from here. And then, you know, is this a little, what we want to do is show enough to make it interesting, but not overdo it. And then if this is a brick texture, which is fine, I'm going to turn this sideways again. Hang on. Might. And I'm not going to put it everywhere. And I might rotate it back, or I am going to rotate it back. And then I'll just start to indicate these things a little bit here and there. I just want a little more clarity. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And then here, like this buttress, I might be able to get away with putting a buttress behind this one because I'm seeing a little bit, maybe here. And then, you know, this can come up out of that. So just a little more, it's sort of simplifying and clarifying. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Let me get rid of this thing. Okay. So I don't know what your approach is, how you're approaching sort of, the one thing about this, so when you turn it though, if you notice it locks right back into that position right there. Now here, I don't know how you started it, but the way I would start this, oops, I screwed up, hang on. I should have put this on a different layer.
Sir, can I ask you for a favor?
Sure,
Can you change your ink color so I can take notes?
sure. That's a good idea, actually. Let's go here, let's go to that. Now, by the way, you guys, you have these pucks right here. So you can click that and it'll give you a quick access to your color picker. This one, you don't want that, that's just shading. And then this one controls your brush size. You can see it goes smaller, watch. If I drag it, my brush goes. I never really use that because you can do the brackets just like you do in Photoshop. Bracket right, bigger, bracket left, smaller. Okay, so I usually tend to use that, so I don't use these a whole lot. And I think if you go up or down on this, it controls value. I'd have to check. Okay, is that better?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you're doing something like this thing, you want to start off very simply. Because this is a box, right? And that's all it is. And then I'm going to go, okay, I got these here. You know, I might just kind of start to indicate them a little bit. And then again, I might come in here and do my X, corner to corner, and give myself a center point. Now, when I'm doing thumbnails, I don't always do all this stuff. I'm doing this just so you guys can use it a little bit later because they're very simple perspective tricks, okay? Let me see what's in here. Okay. That, you know, so now I can come up here and I can go, okay, I know that's the apex of my roof. Now, usually when I'm just doing thumbnails, now again, I'm probably going to rotate this a little bit. And then it comes off. It actually comes right there. Then you have that little thing. And then I know, okay, so here's another little thing. So then I know that this is the center part for that. And I can just put a little curve on it. And I'm just trying to like sort of get a handle on this stuff. I'm not really trying to make perfect drawings at all. I'm just trying to make decent thumbnails, okay? What is this architectural style?
Romanesque.
Oh, Romanesque, okay. That's cool. And then, you know, here I'm just going to pull that back. Add that in. So all I'm trying to do, all I'm really doing here, if you notice, I'm just sort of simplifying and I'm trying to keep everything clear, okay? So if I come in here and I go, there's a circle here. I want to really, you know, I don't want to just, I don't like this kind of thing here where it's sort of doing this. That's not what we want. We want to do, you know, want to feel architectural. So it's cleaner. Even in a thumbnail, you can do that. That's not a big deal. What I don't want you to do is overthink your thumbnails and try to do really nice drawings just on a thumbnail. I mean, I want them to look cool, but the goal is that they're fairly quick and you don't spend a lot of time on them. And by the way, it's not just for speed, okay? it's so you don't kind of overthink ideas, because what you really want to do is you go, like I do this all the time. I'm doing a thumbnail. I go, well, this sucks. I do another one. I don't try and fix the one. I'm like, that thing sucks. I do another one. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. I had a quick question.
Sure.
On average, 1 to 2 minutes per thumbnail, or what is an excessive amount on a thumbnail?
I'd say, I don't think 5 minutes is bad. I mean, if you're really working on one, you really like it, 10 minutes is okay. You just don't want to start going into a half an hour or like 20 minutes and all that kind of stuff. A lot of, you know, and you'll see as we go through all this stuff that you'll start to get faster fairly quickly. What I don't want you to do is focus too much on speed, because the way I'm showing you guys how to do this, if you're doing it a lot, if you're doing a lot of repetition of this, you're going to get faster. Okay, it's just normal. You'll just get faster. Okay, it's sort of muscle memory and all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And then you have your thing there. Now I might go, let's see if I can do this. I never understand the perspective tool. Hang on. Let's see if I can just do this. Nope. Now, there's some weird stuff in this program, to be honest with you, that I don't really care for. I'll figure that out later. I never use the draft or the crop tool in here. Let's do another page here. Let's go. Okay, so sort of the same idea with all these. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then this one now, I might start to go, okay, what's going to be? I'm going to open up Photoshop so I can use 2 different pages. Now I start to go, okay, what's going to be my point of view on this from a styling perspective, right? So I start to flesh them out the way you're doing. And again, does this stuff go like low and wide? Is that what I'm going to start playing off of? Do I want to chunk up, the elements a little bit? That's a pretty simple way to go. I'm going to chunk it up a little. Then you got this. I'll make this a little wider, a little beefier. I'm going to put that window a little further back. And then this sort of thing I might also chunk up. And I'd have to go through a variety of these to get this to work, probably. I like this. I might pull this out more to give it more of a base, just because I like that. And then I like these things, so I'm going to trick these out a little bit. I might give things here and there a little curve that doesn't really exist in the real one. I'm going to make this a lot taller, this thing here. And then what's the tower look like? Okay. I like this. I'm running out of space here. So this is what I like about Photoshop, is I can just go. Okay. I like these, but again, I'm going to probably make them a little bigger. A little bigger. And then what's the, again, I'm probably going to put a little bit more of a lip on this. Why do I want to put more of a lip on it, you guys?
So you're able to cast that shadow?
Nope.
Silhouette?
Oh, it's a little bit kind of silhouette. I get your answer. I want to break the silhouette. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes, that is exactly why I'm doing it. Okay. Whenever I can, I want to break that silhouette. It just makes it a little more interesting. And I'm not being super accurate here. I'm just looking for like, how can I chunk this up? Sometimes in my brain, I tend to go to kid anyway, but I'll go, this is for a show that has a sensibility like Monsters Inc. or or like Beatrix Potter, or, you know, whatever I'm kind of into at the moment, okay, or whatever I'm trying to hit. Here, I might go a little more fancy here. Let me see if you might already have it. Hang on. No. So I might, oops. I might put something like that. You know, some sort of architectural element up there. And then here, I don't know what kind of roofs they have, but maybe I'll give it one of these. That kind of thing. Maybe I'll put another decorative element right here that's tied into that top part. And then I'm gonna go, I want something to break this up. So maybe I'll do one of those old, because it kind of feels like this, with the little tower has a little window that comes out. And it curves over in itself like that. Maybe there's a little architectural detail. Maybe I'll put another one up here, something popping out of here. And a lot of times, you guys, I'll put a shape right here, and then I'll figure out what it is later, you know, or if I like it. I might not even like it, okay? And then here, I might start looking a little too church, but that's all right. Put something here. No idea what I'm doing. I'm just starting to look at what I have here. Maybe I can repeat that shape a little bit. Same thing here now. I don't want to do shingles everywhere. I just want to sort of indicate them. I like to do my little serrated top right here. Depending on what kind of ceiling it is, or what kind of roof it is, okay? Then maybe I'll put a little repeat thing here. And I'm sort of doing some things on the flying buttresses kind of idea that I'm in my head. I'm pulling from Notre Dame. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Two different architectural styles. I get it, but like I said, and we're going to ease into this, okay, guys? So I'm trying to introduce you. Okay, so what we're doing here is we have to learn the interface here. We're talking about drawing, and we're talking about design, okay? And I always like to give you some design to sort of hang. If I don't give you any design, if you haven't done this a lot, to hang this stuff on, it's kind of tricky, okay? When there's a pretty methodical approach to it. Does that make sense? Yeah? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, and then, you know, later on, because I'll get into this by next week. Okay, now I'm going to go, like, I like this foreground stuff. Now, what sucks about Photoshop, the only reason I'm using Photoshop so I can leave this other one open. No, and then you've got another one in here. Let's see. No, and I can put something back here. Actually, let's do this. Let's get rid of that guy because I don't care about that. And then I'm going to take this whole thing. I usually create another layer. The good thing about Sketchbook is it automatically puts you on another layer off of the background layer. I don't like working on the background layer because now I'm locked to the background layer, which I don't like. It'll be fine for this. And I'm just going to shrink this down a little bit and then go put another layer here. I'm going to put it behind it, fill it with white. Because as you go further on with this, like this week, what we'll start doing is I might go, okay, I'm going to block a tree in here. I'm going to put something, and this is going to be further on once you start figuring out what you want to do, okay? Does that make sense? I'm going to change this, and I'm going to put a wedge right here, okay? So what's a wedge? I can put a square right here, and then I can just shave it down like that, and then I can put this. These steps are way too big, but that's okay. And then I can come in here and go, because it's a thumbnail, I'm not going to worry about too much about scale right now. Because now I'm kind of going, I want to have an entrance. Okay, so maybe I put a railing here, and a railing here. Then maybe this comes out. I always like to curve the path. It's just that way it comes right into the viewer. And then I can start to put some things, you know, look at my other sketches. So let's look at a different sketch. Ooh, this is cool. Let's look at that. Then let's say you've landed on a little bit of a styling thing that you like, okay? What do I do with it? I just lost my, hang on, oh, here it is. Just so you know, things jump back and forth through my screen, so that's why sometimes I sound so confused. Okay. You know, and then maybe way back here, I put this craziness, you know, back there. Now, what would I do though, you guys? Because we're not going to use shading on this. How would I do this?
You have a thicker line quality to indicate shadow
In the foreground, right?
in the foreground, yeah.
Again, I'm doing a crappy job of this. But anyway, I would put this back there. This guy's going to get much, you know, beefed up, much more beefed up. And then what? My light's here, okay? It's going this way. So that means like these I'm going through my buttresses, but that's okay. These overhangs can get darker where it hits the ground. Anything away from that light, I can start to heavy up. I'm only blocking in the tree because I'll show you guys trees next week. And same thing here, I can start, these are overhangs, so I can start to hit those. This is an overhang a little bit. This is the other side, that's my shadow side. This is my shadow side. I can get some of this and darken it up. You know, maybe there's some kind of fence or something here. You know, some kind of, maybe a big elaborate gate right here. And if you notice, I'm not worried about making a perfect drawing or a bunch of detail or anything like that. Then maybe there's this is the gate. I'll figure that out later. Some more trees and things in here. Maybe some sort of shrubbery here. And then I'd start letting all this stuff go backwards and getting lighter in line. Okay, now I can still hit it a little bit to indicate the light, but this unit, all this foreground, maybe there's a, I don't know, something here. Maybe I have some of those lamps like we talked about on the other thing. You know, and then I got when it comes right into the foreground or something. And that's nice and dark. This is a little darker, or this is dark-ish. And then it gets lighter and lighter. We're going to pull back on that line quite a bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Anthony?
Yeah.
Is Anthony there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Does that all make sense?
Yes, sir.
So if you look at your components, this looks like Hagia Sophia or whatever it's called. Is that what that is?
When I was pulling my reference, it came up as Romanesque, so it was one of the ones images that I pulled.
What's nice about it looks like Haji. Let me see. I know I'm mispronouncing it, but oh well. I doubt if this, yeah, sort of similar. Or maybe it is. No, maybe not. No, it's not the same thing. But you can see this, hang on. You can see the similarity here. See that? That make sense? I don't think that's the same place though. Because yours has, I don't think that would be considered Romanesque. I don't know, Arabesque. I don't know what art style that is. You can see a lot of Jabba the Hutt's palace in this thing right here. You see that?
Maybe Moroccan?
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot where it is. They just did, there was just some controversy around this. I think turned it back into a mosque. I think for a long time it was something else. But anyway, you'll see a lot of this stuff like this when you're going through your reference. Then you go, oh, Jabba the Hutt's palace, or you know, stuff like that, where you just see all this stuff and you go, oh man, they totally got that from that. You know what I mean? And it's fun to see that because then you go, what did they change on it? You know, oh, they just simplified it or whatever they did, or they plugged a little bit of neo-Gothic into it, you know. And that's the thing that's kind of fun with this stuff is you got to learn. Here's the thing that I'm trying to get to with this with you guys, and I mostly focus on the drawing and the software and all that, but I think you need to learn, everybody needs to learn. I used to do a project a long time ago, and I should do it again actually, and I would say I want a futuristic medieval city. Okay, this is years ago. And a lot of kids would go, well, you can't have a futuristic medieval city because medieval's a long time ago. You know what I mean? And then what they start doing initially when you go, well, I don't care. I want you to use those two elements, okay? Then they just start cramming things together where they go, here's a horse and buggy or whatever they use, but I put a rocket engine on it. I mean, that's not design, okay? What's design is like we were talking about, I don't think it was in here I was talking about it. Like when you're talking about working on something from a movie, so the movie's established, then you got to find out, oh, they use these 5 styles and they combine them into a new thing. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes.
So that's sort of the goal, you know, whether it's stylistically or you're just creating a whole new thing, you know, like if you're using 4 or 5 different architectural stuff, or like I just did, I just used some ideas that are actually more Gothic really. But then I start pushing it into my own thing. Now, what I don't want it to look like is like, oh, I took a Romanesque building, just stuck a bunch of Gothic buildings on or things on it. You know, you have to work through the process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But these look pretty good. You know what I would do? I would go in on some of these, like this one. Oh, I wasn't using I'll use a red line here again. And let's do. Put this back in here. I might go in, and I wouldn't do it with a red line, because you already have a lot of stuff here. But I might go in and go, like, push this stuff a little harder. Like, I might pull that out a little bit, pull this end out a little bit, push this back, and I can just go in here and start to make this a little more interesting. Like here, I could sort of start to define this a little better. So I want to simplify. It's like I don't want to put, because when I say define it better, then people think I mean detail it out. That's not what I mean. I mean just kind of clarify a little bit. Like these could probably get a little bigger. This brush is a little fuzzy. This line stuff, I might go in and kind of tweak that and try and get it, start to sweep this stuff a little bit, like here, here. And then I might try and find like here, this needs to be more, this stuff needs to be a little more defined. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like, I might go, that looks like an octagonal kind of thing. So, I mean, if it's doing this, and then this, and then this, then I can do that. It feels much more faceted. Does that make sense? Then I can put a line, goes to line here. Boom, boom. Then I know these are starting to line up. Put the same thing here, follow this form. I could darken that if I put my light there now. This side can get a little darker. And then, you know, then I'm going to repeat it. And then here, I need a little more information. And it doesn't have to be a lot of information. It's got to sort of tell me how it works a little bit, so it's believable. And then when you have something like that, like a little top detail, you know, push it. You know, I've seen these ones that have this thing where they kind of do this. You know, a lot of times they have a big decorative element here that it starts with, you know, a big gold gilded ball or something like that, okay? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Take a quick look at the other ones. Did anybody have any big problems just with the interface?
Yeah, I did. I think it like the sketchbook will get like shut down and close everything. Luckily, I haven't lost anything because of that yet.
You had problems with it crashing?
Yeah, so I ended up doing mine in my sketchbook. Or some of them, I have a few sketches like that I've been trying to work on, like on like the interface sketchbook, but
What do you on? You on Windows or Mac?
I'm on a Windows. Yeah.
And do you know what DPI your file is that you're working on?
No, how do I find that out?
So when you're in Sketchbook, and by the way, like I briefly went over this interface and everything. I don't expect you guys to remember everything I said, okay?
Yeah.
But that's why I want to know what you're having problems with. Right here under image size, it's right here, resolution. Okay. It might be, I doubt it, but it might be that you have it on some crazy resolution like 1200 DPI or something. And it's just too much. Okay. Maybe. Okay. You there? Is everybody hearing me?
It looks different.
Yeah,
than we can hear you.
Okay. So it's hard to tell because like sometimes you guys will sort of bog down, but then I'm not bogging down. Super weird.
Yeah, my screen doesn't look like yours just because it's on Windows, I think, but I don't have any options to do that.
It shouldn't be that different. The interfaces are basically the same.
Okay,
Because I use it on Windows all the time at school. It's the same. Okay. Check the DPI and then make sure like how powerful is your machine?
I have a Lenovo. It's pretty good.
You
Like,
can run Photoshop and everything on it, okay?
yeah, I have Maya and Photoshop on
Oh,
here.
then it should be fine.
Yeah, it should be fine. Like, it hasn't been causing major trouble. I just like after, like it's been getting better. I think I just have to be patient with it.
With Sketchbook?
Especially if I have, yeah, I just have to not like patient, but I gotta.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what would cause that. The thing with Windows,
Like, be careful.
the problem with Windows is that you'll get into these weird conflict things. You know what I mean?
It might be because like I have like a lot of stuff running, so I try to like clean stuff out maybe, or.
Yeah, but sometimes it'll be a conflict. Okay? And it's a window. Okay, so sometimes there's like, you have to find it, just see if it keeps doing it. It might, hopefully it'll clarify itself. But like I've known students who loaded whatever, and then it just keeps crashing like that on different programs, not necessarily Sketchbook. And then you look into it and you're like, oh, there's this file in this submenu that conflicts with this software and and you got to do all this crap. But it's a total Windows thing. You don't usually get it on a Mac. Mac is becoming Windows, but it's not there yet. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'll keep
Buzz,
an eye on it.
if it gives you, is it saying anything or does it just crash?
It just closes.
Oh, that's super irritating.
Yeah.
That's one thing I was just thinking about this morning because I was doing a bunch of work for classes this morning,
Mhm.
and you know, just stupid stuff was happening. It's the one thing that, like, because we're so dependent on this right now, you know, it's really annoying because all this technology has a lot of problems, you know, and there's a comedian named Reggie Watts, and he was talking. I was listening to an interview with him. Kind of part of his thing is like technology and stuff. And he was talking about, I never thought about this. He goes, if any other product you had behaved as crappily as your software and all that stuff, you'd never tolerate it. He goes, if your car behaved like this, you would never buy that car. You know, if like every morning you went in there and you're like, why isn't it starting? Then you had to go and figure it out. Oh, this wire needs to now go over here. You know, you'd never buy that car. You know what I mean? We only tolerate it with software and computers and stuff. Which
That's
bum me out when I
true.
think about it, because I'm like, God, that's true. So you
Yeah.
know, we're all always continually troubleshooting something. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
When you could just
you
grab
know,
a sketchbook.
I know.
When you
That's
could, yeah,
exactly
you just.
what I was thinking. I think I said this to Elon or something. I go, this is why I like paper.
Mhm.
Pen, paper, done. Nothing's gonna go wrong. The only thing that might go wrong is it runs out of ink. So what? I grab another, or I grab a pencil. Who cares?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to look at these real quick. The rest of them real quick. Sorry, Anthony. I went off on a tangent.
Question about the user interface for Sketchbook. Is there any way
This isn't working for me. Oh. Okay. You completely bogged down. I don't know what's going on. This is a nice one right here. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you.
This one right here is kind of a nice one. This one's starting to be. These still are the Anthony. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Are these later?
Yes, like I said, I kind of just pulled reference for what caught my eye, and then I just used that as reference.
Okay, these feel more warmed up to me. Okay. Like this one on the far right looks much more, I can read it better. Like you're clarifying, just like I was telling you to clarify the other one, that's what you kind of did in here. Okay. Because ideally what we're going to want to do with these is we're going to want to do something kind of fun with the actual finish. Okay. And also you guys think about it, because I'm going to do a quick night scene of this. It won't take us very long. It's super simple, but you can kind of think about what you want to light up or whatever while you're doing the regular version, okay? So sometimes if I'm doing that, I'm going, like if I do this building, I can easily light that all up. It's easy, right? But pretty much anything you guys do, we can light up, so don't worry about it. Okay. So Anthony, is this the style you're going to land on?
Most likely, yes. I kind of like it.
Okay, that's fine. Start sort of finding your stylistic direction a little bit, okay?
Yes, sir.
Which means just kind of push it, like playing around with the shapes a little bit. And sometimes you need it, like at least I do. I like to just sit down and draw these things kind of straight, and then I sort of build up my my understanding of the language, and then I get confident with pushing the shapes around a little bit, okay? And also, when I'm doing these, I usually start developing a narrative in my head. So I kind of go, I start to understand, and it usually comes out of the thumbnails. I start just going, oh, this place is this place. You know, here's what it is. Here's, you know, it just gives me a little bit of a story in my head and makes it easier for me to design if I have a story in my head. Does that make sense? I think I might have lost me up there. Okay, does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Okay, God. Am I lagging like real bad, you guys, or am I all right?
You're good. No
For
lag so
me-
far.
It's okay.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Elan,
Yes. Can you hear me?
can you hear me? Okay, look.
I can hear you.
Boy, what's his style? Oh, New Orleans. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm thinking. So I kind of went like for each I did a different style. So there's 4 different styles I did of
But these are all-
architecture,
oh,
just
okay.
because I wanted to vary it up.
By the way, you could combine those things. If you combine it into a way where there just becomes something new, you can do that. Okay.
Okay, sounds like a good
Outline's
challenge.
kind of fun too. This reminds me of like this one. I did some product for Frozen, and it's very chateau, like the building styles is very chateau, sort of like this, right? What's this one? Traditional. Wow, that's trippy. Oh, and then you're going all the way over to that. What do you think you're gonna do?
Yeah, I'm probably leaning more towards the New Orleans ones because I actually had a lot of fun with that one, just matching stuff. But then I also like the Dutch one too.
Yeah, the Dutch is interesting too. I think that, I know very little about Dutch architecture, but this feels like it could live in that world a little bit too, right?
Yeah,
And again, you could just riff, you know, and
right.
come up with your own thing, you know.
I might try combining the two.
Yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah, sounds good.
And the
I
thing
like where it's
about
going.
when you say Dutch, is Denmark in that part of that world?
I would say so. This one's more like traditional Dutch architecture, so it's like near the canals, like Netherlands.
Yeah, because I saw something on, I think it was on one of the Anthony Bourdain thing or whatever, and he went to, I think it's Denmark. I think it was Denmark. And it just looks all storybooky, and it's got this reputation of like having the happiest people in the world there. Like apparently the population is pretty happy there. And then when you see it, you go, oh, it kind of makes sense. It's like this beautiful place. They have this cool system, like everybody gets like a month and a half off every year. They actually care about people's quality of life. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
I think yeah.
I mean, I don't have a lot of complaints here. Because it feels like you're starting to stylize here to me, and I don't know what the source material is. But that feels like you're starting to push the
Yeah,
work
definitely
aside.
started.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was definitely stylizing. Sorry, I was definitely stylizing that, and it was tricky because I felt like Sketchbook was a little different from Photoshop, so using the interface was tricky.
Yeah.
But I think
Stay in there, though,
I
for now.
definitely,
Go ahead.
I definitely felt like I loosened up a lot more the longer I.
You do. It's just what you do, right?
Right.
That's the thing with this stuff, man. It's like, and I don't know, maybe other people are different, but I gotta warm up. Man, if I don't warm up, my stuff sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it really sucks. I went out and drew yesterday. I'm usually drawing people every day, and I haven't been doing it. And man, did I suck. Like, I didn't get any good drawings. They all suck. You know what I mean? And usually I can draw people like nothing. You know what I mean? Terrible, terrible drawings. I threw them all away. Really discouraging, actually. Okay, I don't have any problem with any of that.
Yeah, that's what I do in
say,
my drawings.
you what?
Oh, I if I have drawings that I'm just like, oh, this is just a really bad drawing day, I toss them out too.
Well, I didn't get anything good. I mean, nothing.
Oh man, rare, Mike.
And it's super weird too, because I really love going and like starting to stylize people and caricature them. It's super fun. And sometimes there's just no gas in the tank. And like yesterday, just wasn't feeling it at all. There were some cool people to draw in front of me. There's an old guy that was fun to draw. Man, I don't know, it just didn't happen. Bums me out, you know. I think it's partly my head's in painting right now, and I just want to be painting. I don't want to be drawing as much. So maybe it's that, or at least that's my excuse. Right? Now here, I don't want to. I don't have any complaints about these. I mean, they're good thumbnails. Like the nice thing about these is I can read them very well. Now the next trick is really defining your style sensibility. Okay, you had my Saturday class, right?
Last semester,
Okay, so you know how to do this. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because
I
there's
have
some
a good feel for it.
there's some nice things going on indication-wise, like this texture on the roof. There's something about this one I like a lot. I always, when I have a rooftop where I can really see it, then I go, what's up there? Is there, there's usually stuff on the roof, right?
Yeah.
I might just put one thing. Maybe if it's in the city, I might put one of those, sometimes they go like this. To the door that comes up from the stairwell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like in New Orleans, I don't want to get too, even though I'm sure there is, I don't want to get too, my perspective's all funky today. I don't want to get too modern, you know what I mean? I just want to throw some random stuff up there and that's it, And again, why am I doing that? To break the silhouette on the roof, right?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, these things are starting as boxes, and I got to get them out of looking like boxes, right? Which, like here, it could be as simple as going, I'm going to put a tree over here, put some shrubs here, maybe across the front, maybe something back here, maybe this is a restaurant. Let's put down here. Maybe this is a restaurant. And this comes out here, and there's a little railing around the restaurant. And then here's where you go in. So then I can put a little podium where the menu is here. Put the other side of this. Then I can put some tables. Then I might be able to put some umbrellas here.
Yeah.
And I can put some in front of the building. Some tables, put this down here. This could all be wrought iron because they have a lot of wrought iron there.
I might actually go to Old Town Orange to look more reference for that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll put a little sidewalk out here. They probably have really cool street lamps. Now I'm starting to get overlap. Again, I might put some foliage back here. And then I can start maybe another building back here. Whatever that is. And then I'm starting to break up the form a little bit, right? And I'm not saying you should have done this here because right now you're just looking for the buildings or whatever. But that's where the brain goes next. You know what I mean? That make sense?
Right, yes.
This is nice. See, this is doing the same thing. This is nice too, this little planter right here. This is great. Look how you're pulling these out, putting some foliage here. You're doing everything basically I want to say, so I should just shut up probably. You could totally use this bridge in like anything. You could use, if you do New Orleans, you could use that bridge, right?
Yeah, that's why I think those two architecture styles I can definitely merge and make it my own.
Yeah, make it your own thing. Okay, there it is.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
No, it's really good. A nice little thumbnail. Those are clear. If you were showing me those for an idea, I get it. I'm like, boom, yeah, I got it. There's something really nice about that when you can really read it and I can't tell you, when you get a good team and what is this? That are producing, and like when they show you things like that, it's just really nice. You know what I mean? Because it means you're not doing everything yourself, which totally sucks when you're doing that. Okay. I'll start going back over to Sketchbook. It's just right now, Sketchbook doesn't like to have tabs, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. And again, the main thing I use Sketchbook for is sketching. That's about it. Now, that doesn't mean you guys will. Like, you might like rendering in it. Some people like rendering in it, you know. It's whatever you become familiar with. I think you need to know the hell out of Photoshop, though, because Photoshop just has so much stuff in it you can do rendering-wise and all that kind of stuff. Okay, we'll get into that later. Oh, those are nice. Well, you really built up your drawing skills since the last time I talked to you. Hang on.
Yeah, they're all kind of turned.
Yeah, I'm starving for some reason. And by the way, you guys, as we go through this, I'll show you more and more tools in these things that we can play around with. Okay. Okay. What's the architectural Filipino ancestral?
Yeah, ancestral houses. They're like giant mansions that like have Spanish and like.
You call them ancestral?
Yeah, they call them ancestral houses, at least in the search.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah.
I like this, and this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Are they like this one here? Is that like a thatched roof?
Yeah, it's like some houses, they're kind of like mixed matched. It's weird because like a lot of them will have like stone bases like on the bottom, and then they'll all be like wooden, like carved, like wooden carvings and like installations like in panels on
These
top.
are super fun, man. This one right here is really fun. This is really fun. You know what's cool is you're doing sort of a density thing.
Density?
Yeah, there's a lot. I always say like people, like I've had students all the time, and people are always obsessed with the idea of detail. I hate that word. Okay. So I had a student a while back, not too long ago, really smart dude, and he goes, "I like stuff with a lot of detail." And I go, "Okay, bring me something," because it's almost never a lot of detail. Okay. So he brought me this drawing. When you first look at it, it looks like a whole bunch of detail, whatever. And I go, blow up the section. It was on the computer, right? And I go, is there any detail in that? He's like, no, actually it's not. And I go, but there's a lot of it. There's a lot of density of line, which is tricking you into thinking it's very complex, and it's not. But if a lay person looks at it, they're like, oh my God, that must have taken a month. It's like, that probably took them 2 hours. You know what I mean? It's not that big a deal. It's density of line, density of information, okay?
Okay.
And when you talk about detail, the reason I don't hardly ever use that word is that it turns on a switch in most people's brain where they get stiff and they start going, I'm going to put in every little, and if you put everything in there, it just ends up looking totally amateurish, okay? But density, or a lot of shapes, or your smallest shapes, if you just go, I got a big shape, secondary shape, tertiary shape, then my smallest shapes, and I'm out. Those smallest shapes are the indication of detail. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you got, that's what you're always balancing, is the indication of detail, okay? I always have people look at my sketchbook, they always, lay people, and they go, oh my God, there's so much detail. And I always am thinking, like, there's no detail. Like, there's no detail in anything you're looking at, dude. But that's great. It's cool if they say that, because they think they're seeing a lot more than they're seeing, which means I'm doing my job right?
Right.
This is great. This thing is here. I love that.
It was a really pretty house, like literally in the middle of like the forest.
Were these where you started?
Yes.
Notice a difference? I mean, these look very boxy, not as interesting. And then you go, boom. Interesting, right? Are these like second?
Actually, first.
These are first?
Mm-hmm.
This one looks like later to me. Is that right?
Yeah, that one's later.
And are these early? This might be a little later.
It's like mid later.
Okay, because this one's starting to be interesting. This one's really interesting. And there's something interesting about this little tower shape connected to this shape. So this is the one you're going to land on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Is this is stone down here?
Where?
Down here?
Yes.
One thing, this is good. You're not overdoing the stone or brick or whatever that is. One thing with stone a lot of times is I just go in, you know, you're kind of doing it already. Is I really go super loose with it. And again, it's going to be based on this light thing. Hang on. So if I've got like a fence or something, just ghost that in. And then I get super loose with this. I start putting in all my shapes. I don't want them all to be the same size. I want them to break this here, so this can break that border. Again, why? Because I want to break up the, a lot of times I do this all just sort of like that. And then I'll come back in here and start to tweak things because my light's here. And then, so this can get a little bit heavier. I don't like this one. I'm gonna put another one here. And I'll start to hit that other side a little bit and start to build a little bit of form to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'll start going in here and giving a little bit of texture. I might even do something like that and like give this one a little bit of a shadow value. But it's all based on that line. We'll start to make it pop a little bit. Does that make sense? Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to break this border here and there if it's a, you know, depending on what kind of fence it is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't want this stuff. Oops. Ah, hang on. Calibrate my stupid walking pen. And then, this is going to be important for this. Like if you're doing something like that, you know, I'm going to want to break this up with some grass. Maybe there's an, you know, let me get rid of this. I don't want this line here anymore. Because it's a sort of a stacked fence kind of idea. Oops. You know, maybe there's a little something plant or something's coming out of here. I can start bunching that up. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I think on the base of that other building, like it was just small, like close. My hand was like closer to the page. I don't know. So I just like, okay, just draw all of them out. But
what I'm trying to get to is like everything starts loose and then you build it to tighter, right? And then you're out.
right.
Done. Okay. That's kind of what we're going for. Okay.
Okay.
And I do this in every single class. And I'm always pushing you on the loose, loose, loose thing, and then learn how to take it tighter, like a little bit, not even tight, finished, right? And there's different ways of finishing things, which I think people need to understand. Because what they tend to do is go in and just do this super clean line thing. Then it becomes super uninteresting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no like
It just
life
gives
in
no
it.
personality to it. You know what I mean? So I want this to look sort of like a really nice, like presentation level sketch, conceptual idea. It's finished, but it's still got some nice looseness to it, but it's finished. Okay, and I'll try actually post some examples maybe today. Okay. But the point is, I'm starting off like this, just loose. And then look at my line quality does, how it really changes the equation of it, right? Put some here.
Right.
So on and so forth. Okay. Okay, so you landed on this one, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to figure out like how to put it in space. Or like.
Well, you're starting to
what
do that here. I mean, you're starting doing a lot of them. These are front views, obviously. You're starting to do it here, right? What I would do, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I think it's like how I want to like set up like a world around it, or like how I would want it to look.
Okay, so that's one thing that sometimes I'll go into, and I think we talked about this. I kind of have to have some idea of what my buildings look like, but one thing I do like using the grid for is that sometimes, let's start a new one. Okay, so when you set this up, see how it just opened? Didn't ask me what I wanted, which is kind of weird. I'm going to go to image size. See, I'm going to uncheck keep proportions, and I'm going to go 11 by 17, and let's just do this one at 72. Again, I would probably do it at 300. Yeah, I'm just going to rotate it. Let's do that. There. All right.
Mike?
Yeah.
I actually found a way so that you can set it that it will always be 11 by 17 by 300.
How do you do it?
Go to, I believe, edit preferences.
Oh, it's in preferences. Okay.
Or yeah, preferences, wherever you can find it.
Yeah.
And then canvas, and then set that up.
Oh, so this is the default, right?
Yeah, so you can change your default.
There you go. I didn't even think of the preferences. That's true. Anything you want to set to do it all the time is in preferences. In any program. Okay?
Right.
Good. Actually, I should go through there and go through all my stuff in there. I never do that, by the way. Hardly ever. I complain about it, but I never change it. Okay. So sometimes I'll come in here and I'm not even worried about my buildings yet, but I might come in here and do that same thing I was talking about yesterday, where I'll come in here and grab this. I'm going to change this to black. And I'll just put a ground texture down, or ground plane down. And then I'll just start to go, okay, maybe that one big building's going to go here. And the reason I like it is it's just going to let me place things super fast, just as basic shapes, right? Then I might go, okay, I got another lower building here. And I'll line it up with this one. So it's a low building, okay? And maybe I've got another one over here that lines up with this one. If you notice, I can just pull this line right off of that, pull it right off of that, and I know that that lines up, okay? I can do the same thing with the ground, all that, okay? By the way, you guys, when you're doing this, when you start going to the finish, this is what I always do. Let's say this was my finish, and I go, it's really important you do this, at least to me. And let's say I have a door right here, and this is a stairwell. like somewhere in this thing right off the bat, and I usually do it on its own layer so I can turn it off. I'll put like a little indication of a human, just like that, like nothing more than that. Then I go, okay, this door maybe needs to be a little higher. And maybe my human needs to be a little smaller, which is fine. So my human's a little smaller. If you need him to look more like a human, you can put some arms on him and stuff. I just need that. And so now what I can do, let's turn the grid back on. If I go, I want to put somebody over here, then I can just pull a line right here and a line right here. And this is the ground plane. And then I know my human's that tall over there. Does that make sense? Yeah? Or I can just, if I'm going to put a human over here, he's this tall here. And then if I pull it over here, they're this tall here. So on and so forth, right? So I can take that human. The reason that's important, I did this one time. I've done this a lot of times actually, where I'm doing some environment and then I'm going, wow, it's looking pretty good. And then I go, oh shoot, I should put a person there. Then I put a person in a doorway and I go, oh my God, that door is like 4 feet tall. And then that door down the street is like 18 feet tall. And you'd be surprised how your brain will get totally tricked because there's no scale. Does that make sense? So once you put that human in there, you've got scale. And then you can always, and the same thing with the door. If I go, that's about the right height for a door, then I can keep pulling lines off that and make sure that my doors everywhere are like normal sized doors. Does that make sense? And the grid really lets you do that really easily, okay? So I could say this little area here maybe is like a little plaza or something, right? Hang on. Hey, Elan.
Yes, Mike.
Camille just sent me a thing on how to get to the Google Drive, so you need to lend Baxter for that. Okay.
Let her what?
You need to let her have it.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's how to get to the Google Drive. I'll send her an email. But, all right, so then I could put something back here, and then I could say, okay, this is maybe a real little narrow street or a walkway, so that means that this is a corner, and then I can turn this off and I can go, okay, I'm going to put my thatched roof on this. Maybe I'll pull I'm going to pull this thing. Maybe I'll pull this out a little bit so it's like a board up there. And then, maybe there's a little awning over this. And this, and I can start applying your architectural details to it, okay? And then maybe I always go for fountain. It's just my default thing. I have no idea why. Maybe there's a fountain in here. And I just indicate it. And I don't put a lot of work into it because I go, I might hate it. And then, look how fast I can build it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I can turn this back on. Then I can just go, okay, I'm going to have something tall here. I'm going to put something here. I'm going to put a bunch of small houses back here. And they're just going to keep going back here a little bit. And I just keep making like little shapes. And I'm going to go, okay, then maybe there's a big something back here. I don't even worry about what it is yet because now I have an architectural style. And usually I've got my stylistic point of view on it. I can just start throwing stuff down and start decorating that cake. Every shape's a cake and I just got to decorate it once I put the shape down, right?
Right.
And then, I could put a balcony right here in the foreground. This could be a balcony.
My quick question.
Yeah.
About the scale, drawing things to scale, you draw the perspective line from the person's head and the person's feet, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
What I would probably start pulling is the door sizes.
Got it.
Have the door established, and I'm like, okay, all the doors are about this height, unless it's a church or something with a big high door or something. You know what I mean? But
Right.
Okay, so if I have this now here, like if this is Elan's New Orleans, then I can start going, I'm going to put some railing stuff in here and start to make it look cool. Maybe there's those little finial things on the top. And then this is much more decorative. You don't have a ball and come down and do something like that. And this, and I start putting in, you know, and then I can put this across where the ball is. Oops, this way and this way. And then I know that's where my next ball is. This is where the next architectural detail is. Oops.
Okay.
So on and so forth, and they all line up. Now, don't do this, okay? Don't go in and go, line it up and then go, I got to get them all looking exactly perfect. Don't do that. Just kind of go in and loosely knock them in, okay? Now, if it's
Yeah.
right up close, you can get a little more tricky with it. When it moves up, but you see how now we have a nice foreground element. We have a big plaza down here, and then we could have a bunch of buildings going off. And then back here, you know, I could put some mountains that get covered up by the buildings, you know, and then, you know, clouds or whatever. And I'm done, right? And then I just start building my, I start decorating all my cakes. That's it, right? Because that's really what it is. You just, now you get out your pastry bag and you go, make everything look more complicated than it is, and it's not complicated. All right? Does that make sense?
And cake off this. Thank you.
The goal here, for me anyway, is to simplify, and simplify the thinking, okay? Yeah, I was just talking to Frank about this morning because there's an instructor and they're always complicating everything. And it's like, we were talking about storyboards and I'm going, I've done storyboards before, man. I walked in and did storyboards. It wasn't brain surgery, you know what I mean? And I keep hearing all this stuff about storyboards. I'm like, yes, I know it's more complex now than it used to be, but that's more about animatics and things like that. I mean, you know, and you know, you learn your shots and all that stuff. I mean, I didn't really know much about that when I did it, but and it's changed a little bit, but it's not that complicated, okay? It's just not that complicated, all right? And I know getting the skill set is complicated. I get it, because when I saw people doing all this stuff, and I go, how did it so easy when they do it? Because they've been doing it for, you know what I mean? Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, I go. All right. Okay. Bill's doing the schedule right now, so he's freaking out. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. A guy to look at, I'll look at him in a minute. Let's go through these. Get rid of this. And again, the only reason I'm opening in Photoshop is it's easier to open multiple files. And I want to hear from you guys if you're having any kind of interface problems. Let's go. Oh, these look pretty good. Media.
That's fine. Hello.
Yeah, there you are. These are pretty good. What is this based on?
Like Spanish style Mediterranean kind of.
That's what they base all the big mansions on. Or they used to. I don't know if they still do. How many do I have here? 3 or do I have 4? I thought I saw 4. No, I have 4. Hang on. I got 4. Okay. All right. Did you have any problems with the interface or anything?
It kept doing this thing where I had to restart it because it would stop like doing straight lines, I guess, with the magnet tool on.
With the what tool?
Like, you know, the magnet tool under the perspective grid, it just stopped using straight lines, so it just wouldn't work, and then I'd have to like restart the program.
Oh, this? I never used that.
Oh.
Well, it's just the snap to grid thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't working.
Yeah, I'd be a little leery of that because it might want to pull it to something you don't want to pull it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I never use it. So I'm all about simplicity. Okay. Yeah. So just try turning it off. Have you tried that? Yeah.
Yeah, it would work after every.
Here's another thing, you guys, by the way. I think there's a lot of weirdness with this program, okay, with Sketchbook. That's why I use it for sketching and not much else. I do like it for sketching. I love it for the perspective grid. But there's a lot of weird stuff with it, okay? If you're trying to make really small little straight lines, like halftime won't do it because it's just too small. Or you have to like zoom way in and then you can kind of make them small. Because I do it all the time for like little architectural details and stuff like that. And there's just certain things it doesn't like to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the other thing is now is they've made it free, which they just did like, I think last year, and I've always looked at Sketchbook and gone like, they don't seem like they fix a lot of things on this. And now they put it out there for free, which makes me go, how often are they going to fix anything now? It's free. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
And if Adobe had a brain in their head, they just put this perspective grid basically in Photoshop, and I don't know there'd be a whole lot of reason for me to go into Sketchbook. You know what I mean? Like why? But for some reason, Adobe doesn't want to commit to how much of a painting program it is, and it also doesn't want to commit to how much of a drawing program it is, which is totally weird. Okay. They just don't seem to commit to that. They will eventually, but they don't. Okay. So it's Mediterranean, you said, right? Amelia?
Sorry, it wasn't a meeting. Hi. Yeah, it's Mediterranean. My family's from Seville, so like used some references that I took there a couple years ago too. And yeah, it was really fun doing the research.
Oh, that's fun. I love doing research. It looks like you're kind of chunking them up already, which is cool. Yeah?
Yeah, I think I overworked though. Like I spent a little too much time.
Okay, good. Well, you're identifying it then. But one thing like I do with like, these are like Spanish tile roofy kind of things, right?
Yeah.
One thing I do with them is, let's go back. Wait, here's Brianna's again. Here's Brianna's again. Where's mine? There. I tend to go because I always look at things how they work. And then I go, okay, so here's the roof. And then I give myself this because that's what they do. They're half a tube, right? I don't do it everywhere. The people do that a little bit because that's where they end. Sometimes there's a little cap over it. Sometimes they do it this way.
Oh yeah, sometimes they have like a lengthwise too.
What? Oh.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Sometimes they have this on top because they put another row over the top, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then they do this, right? Now I want these vertical lines or whatever you want to call them, the ones I started with. I want those in there because that gives me some coherence to the language of it. Does that make sense?
Okay, I'll add those.
And then here, it usually goes, then this interlocks, then this goes, and then this interlocks, and then this goes, and this interlocks, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's a graphic thing. Then I'll just put it here and there. And usually, you know, you can dense it up in one area and then let it kind of dissipate off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people look at it and go where the light would rake across it. That's where they emphasize it more and then let it trail off from there. Yeah, you know, I just sort of eyeball it. Like make it kind of dense here in the center part and then just sort of that's probably enough. Because then this isn't the star. The thing I always say about this is my Like my roof isn't the star, right? Then here, you know, and then maybe it's got this, whatever. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I like these. I mean, I don't have a lot of complaints about it. I mean, I think they look pretty good. Now you got to start figuring out. Now, like here, you're probably going to want to put a little more. You got to be careful when you do like this kind of a line thing. Even if it's pretty thin, I might give it another, just a little bit of weight.
Okay.
You know, and then I'll find some little detail to put in there, whatever that is. And sometimes they'll go, well, it doesn't have it. And I go, well, okay, it doesn't look very interesting, so add it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can add.
But we're not making a documentary here. We're not slaves to our research. Our research is our jumping off point, right? Man, we're lagging today. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know. But
Amelia, does that all make sense?
Yeah.
I would start kind of figuring out what your scene is going to be.
is there any building that like stands out you think that I should use?
Yeah, I like this one right here.
Okay.
I like some things about this one. This one feels like you really kind of hit it. Like it's a nice balanced drawing. I like this one, which is kind of similar. I like this. I love the roof on this right here. And then going to this, I love this. I think this is kind of fun, this little round element. Got it, you put it here. I was just gonna say you should put it into something, you did. I like this one too, but I'd probably just play around with it a little more. Then here, maybe I might kind of figure that out a little more. Are these the early ones, this page? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see, kind of see where they go, you know what I mean?
Is my mic not working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might take this. This would be a great element, this like the long tower one. I might take that and put it way in the background and really make it much taller. And that's just my opinion. You could do whatever you want with it. That would give me a tall building in the back. And then I find some reason why it's there. You know, in this scene, probably not a clock tower, but like in some of them, I'll make it a clock tower or something like that. Does that make sense?
On camera.
Okay, good. Hey, Amelia.
Yeah.
Have you had environmental?
No.
Oh, these are good. I thought you had environmental.
No, I'm taking your sketching Saturday class though.
Oh, good. That one's going to be really loose. That's good.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me, hang on. I got to do this real quick. Okay, sorry. Let's go with that one. Okay, Brian.
Yeah, me?
Why do I only have one page?
I put 2 more in the Google Drive.
When?
I put like before 12:40 p.m.
Why don't I have them?
It's on Google Drive.
Let me see.
So I put it before like 30 minutes, I think 25 minutes before 1.
All right. I'll have to take a look at that. Okay. Hey, Danielle. Where's Danielle? Where is she?
Yeah, I'm here.
How come I have an empty folder from you?
I'm here.
Hmm?
My Google Drive is being weird, so I sent Canvas.
You what?
Can you hear me? Letting me upload the file, so I put it in Canvas instead.
Oh, it's in Canvas. Okay. I hate managing files through Canvas. All right.
I know.
I mean, I like Canvas for a lot of things. I just don't like it. All right, that's fine. All right, here's what I'm going to do on this first one, because it's the first thing we're handing in. I'm just going to give everybody a free pass on it, and I'll take a look at them and all that. But after this, let's make sure we know what we're doing, right?
Sí, jefe.
Right? Okay. All right. Who's this? Emma. Where's Emma?
Hey.
Okay, so what's this? Is this Victorian? Yeah, Victorian.
Yeah, it is.
Go to page 1. I like these. Looks like you're starting to think about your line on this one and stuff. A little bit here. Are you thinking about where your light is?
Yeah.
Like here.
What?
Like here, you've got a leading edge right here that you can take advantage of here. So you can darken that up so it'll pop forward a little bit. Same thing here.
Yeah.
Just things like that, okay? So are you going to go with Victorian?
Yeah, I did mostly Victorian. I was having a hard time deciding, and I decided I would do that.
Is this, where did this one come from?
It's like an older Victorian building that I had found.
Man,
It's like really old.
I'd use a lot of stuff off that because I love curving the roof like that.
Yeah, same.
I just love doing that. It's so weird because you get I don't know, just certain things you do, you know, and I'm always trying to push myself out of it, you know, but whatever. For this, it works. Yeah, okay, so now what I would do is I would start deciding, let's look at all of them. I would start deciding on my stylistic point of view. Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your major?
I'm going for the entertainment arts.
Okay. What do you want to do?
More into like VFX type of stuff.
Oh, like visual effects, that kind of thing? God, I hate this lag. It drives me crazy. I think I can hear you again. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Emma,
Can you hear me?
now I can. So you said like visual effects?
Yeah.
I like that answer because I always get the same answer from everybody. It's always character design. You know what I mean?
Really?
It's always character design. Have you had Susie's class?
Yeah, I really like. Was she the one that did it last semester for the Maya class? Yeah, I had her.
She's. Have you seen her reel?
I think I have.
She's worked on everything, man. She's a monster.
Yeah, she has.
I think she's
really good.
Yeah, she's great. Anyway, she'll be back, I think, next term. I would take if you want to do visual effects, I would take everything she teaches. And she's really cool.
Yeah, because I was taking.
Go ahead.
went online, it was a lot harder to do that class.
Yeah, I think it's harder to do all of them, you know, but I think there's ways of, I mean, you know, there's ways of doing it. You know, my Saturday class is usually all field trips, but I found out a way to do it, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so the only thing I'd say now is just find your stylistic point of view, okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Get rid of this. Okay. So anybody I haven't seen, I'm going to take a look at them after I get off. So I will open up the folder again. Danielle, I'll just pull yours off of Canvas because they're already there. But anybody who I haven't got anything from, throw it in the folder and throw it in there quick because I want to change that folder for the next class. Okay. And I'll right now it's locked off, so I'll have to unlock it. And I'm going to show you guys something in a minute. I'm going to try and get through these fairly quickly. Okay, if I can. Hang on, I got to answer Phil. It's freaking out. Oh, okay, I got it. Sorry, drama. Okay. Where's Esteban? Where are you at? Please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Little chaotic.
Yeah, I'm not really used to the glossy feeling of the tablet, so it's hard to make straight lines for me right now.
Yeah, go in on that thing that I told you about, this one here. And where is it? Let me get rid of this thing. Zoom has this weird habit. It always puts the bar in front of where I don't want it to be. And it does it without you even seeing it. It's super weird. Go here. Right there. And dial it in, and it'll start to pull your line in a little nicer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's to me, that's what that's for. I don't know if that was their original intention, but it feels like it puts a little of the friction back into it to me. It's simulated, obviously, but it feels like you're getting a little bit of that pull from the paper a little bit. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Like dial it way up so you can see what it does. It's basically useless when you do that. And then you can kind of get a feel for where you want it. Right now I have it at 15. Sometimes it seems to me like I used to put it at 6, but maybe not. I don't remember. Okay. And the other thing I would do, like certain things you can do on here, if I was gonna, because sometimes I do chaotic things. If I was gonna hand these off for presentation or discussion, I just come in here and arrange them, right?
Yeah.
So I need to get a little more information in here for me to get a point of view, right? What architectural style is this?
It's supposed to be Victorian Gothic.
Like, okay, I can take something like this. I can draw this loose for myself and then come in here and start to structure. I probably need a fatter brush. Because sometimes I do. I like to draw super crazy loose. And I can come in here and that's saying I got to have another thing over here that lines up. So I could come in here and tighten this up and make a little bit of sense out of it. Yeah?
Yeah.
But I'm going to need a little more information so I can get a point of view on what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Like this could come straight over here. Maybe I'll make that an architectural detail here. You know, maybe this. I don't really want you to do shading, but maybe just to separate these things, I might do a little that kind of thing. And then it starts to give me a little more information so I can sort of start to get an idea. Like this, what's that from?
Not sure. I think I just kind of took some of the Victorian tower idea and then just sort of put a bridge in between them.
Oh, okay. You know, like these kind of things here, you know, just do a cleaner, swept line like that. You know, it probably has some sort of frame around it. And just kind of clean up the idea a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So give me a little more so I can sort of start to get your idea of your artistic point of view or your stylistic point of view. Okay?
Yeah.
More just small ones. I don't want a bunch of big stuff. Now, from here on, after we get done through these right now, I'm going to want you to give me sort of, okay, here's my architectural point of view. I would say you need at least 2 pages. I'm not really going to give you a page count. I'll probably say 2 pages, but you really got to go through it until you figure it out. Because I think 2 pages is really minimal. If you're pretty close, I think Brianna's pretty close, and Elon's pretty close, and some of the other ones. You know, maybe it is 2 pages. I don't know, because you just got to sort of define it. It's like it's going to be this kind of thing, okay? And I'll talk about that in a minute after I get through these, okay? What's our time frame here? Hang on. Well, we only go to 4:05.
We're done at 4, right?
Yeah.
Jesus, man. That seems really short. You guys are probably going to be bored. Okay. All right, let me do an overview real quick here. Let me try and pull just ones that I think I can speak to. Okay. Are you guys seeing that I'm kind of saying the same thing over and over again? Are you guys seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, more or less, right? Tighten this up, be a little more clear. So when I start seeing that, then I go, okay, I don't know if I need to go through all of them, unless somebody has a real, you know, if you have questions, I want to talk about it. But where's Grace? Where's Grace at?
I'm right here.
You have to Grace
Hello?
like that in another. No, you weren't. Well, what's the style? Oh, Victorian.
It's Victorian, yeah.
Is that what you want to go with?
I think at first I wasn't sure, but as I was going through it, I think yeah, I'm pretty set.
Okay, so be careful with this kind of thing. Where, oh, God.
What was that?
Okay, you cut out on me.
All right. You said be careful with this kind of thing, and then I didn't hear anything else after that.
Okay, so like that's because I had to calibrate my stupid pen.
No worries.
So when you're doing this kind of thing, like this one,
Yeah.
don't do this random that. Right?
All right.
I want
Yeah,
everything-
yeah. I
want
see what you
everything
mean.
to tell me something. So if I have a roof line right there, I can just do something. I mean, I don't know what the roof looks like, but it's probably shingles. So I can just come in here and kind of go on a thumbnail and just kind of indicate it a little bit. Just like the stone we were just talking about, I don't do it everywhere or whatever, or the brick or whatever, you know, and then it's probably got a little thing here, maybe a little fascia board. you know, and then my windows and all that. Okay, so never make random marks. You want to make them where they say something. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And then get a little, like, this is starting to work.
yeah, I got it.
And it's going to be the same thing. I want you to give me a stylistic point of view. Okay? Like the ones I showed you guys last time, my thumbnails for
Yeah, I got
had a point of view, which is basically squash verticality. That's all it really was. Okay. I'm good with Victorian. I think it's a good one to use because it's really evident. This is starting to look a little Tudor right there. This one too.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but it was labeled as Victorian, and so I just thought it was cool, so I drew it from my own reference.
What's interesting about Victorian is there's like a billion different types of Victorian.
Yeah, that's what I noticed as well. And if you look at like Victorian, like huge Victorian mansions, is different from like if you look at like Victorian homes in San Francisco, where you know how it's on a hill.
Yeah.
And then they look very different from those other houses. So I thought that was cool.
I did a project one time, and I had to research Victorian, and the people I was working for, they go, which is the city of Riverside, they go, I mean, I hadn't heard of this book. And it was a book, I think, about just architectural styles, but they were broken down into real, it's a great book, by the way, for a designer. And so they go, you should check out that book. And I go, okay, cool. And I went and got it. I think the libraries. Now I can't remember the name of it. And it just had these really simple sort of schematic-y drawings where they broke down the style into what makes it look like the style. And then I looked up Victorian, and it had like all these different art styles of Victorian, where they're like, this is from 1800 to 1850. This is from 1855 to 18. This is from 1870 to 1881. This is from 18, and it just kept evolving. It was really interesting. And some of it did look like Tudor. Everybody hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, that's what I noticed as well. Even with diagrams that are like, it tries to specify what's Victorian in like 5 different points. It just wasn't enough for me.
Yeah, it gets out for what we're doing. You just got to get a good language going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all we're really after. We're still
here.
This is not the Karina that was in Brian's class, is it? Karina. Man, I'm lagging. You there, Karina?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wow. What's this style?
Here. Dutch colonial.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a good one. I like that. Is this the one you're going to do?
Yeah, because I noticed almost every one of the houses, they tend to curve the roof, and on the side it looks kind of like a bell.
Man, this right here, like you picked a good style because there's a lot of stuff to stylize here. Just this whole idea, again, I could really push that verticality. I could squash that a little bit. Which is super fun. I could maybe make this. What kind of roof is this? Is it just a tile or a, whatever you call it? Shingles?
Shingles, yeah.
I mean, this is a super fun thing. I don't know if I've really seen this before. Then it drops down here, which is super cool. I mean, this is fun, man. You know, but you know what I mean stylistically, how easy it is to kind of play with this?
Yeah.
Is this a Karina that was in my class before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you can see how you can just push the hell out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
do it. So do it. Now I want to see your stylistic point of view, right?
Got it.
Okay, good. This, I love this. I can play with this all day. Anyway. Man, you can make a great little storybook looking village out of this kind of stuff. Dutch colonial, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm all over this. I might rip this off. I'm going to rip this off for my class. Right on. Okay, good. Punch your drawings a little bit, but we'll get over that a little bit later.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Think about where your light is, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to go over that a lot more. Right now, I just got to get your ideas, and then I can go over all that stuff. Where's Mac V?
I'm here. I'm sorry. My Google account has it under like a nickname. I changed it to Mackenzie to.
Okay, good. Yeah, guys, I have somebody in another class, and they have a total nickname. I have no idea who that is. So I'm probably marking them absent because I don't know what their name is. Because when I take roll in this class, I'm doing it by screenshotting, right? Or on whatever you call it, Google. I don't know who I'm talking to. Somebody else. I'm gonna try and figure out why I'm getting all this lag. Okay, good. I'll talk about what I'm gonna want you guys to do after. Somebody mentioned that in the text. Okay, Mackenzie. These are nice. Why I've only got one on this page?
Oh, I didn't get a chance to finish anymore. I think I went too far with the detailing.
Don't do that. That's why I don't want you to do that.
Yeah, this is my first time doing thumbnails, and I kind of went with your example. I took a picture while you were showing us yours in class, and I was like, oh, his has really big houses, and I didn't know when to stop, and I took too much time, and now I know not to put so much thought.
There's a reason why I put so much emphasis on thumbnailing, because you got to learn how to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see based on other people's. I know like now detailing is not really the most important part. You said you were like 10 minutes for each house. I'm like, oh God, I went way over that.
Yeah, most of the time it's no more than 5.
Yeah.
Now I know it's a skill. Okay, you have to build it. Okay, it's not easy. I get it, but what you really want to do is you want to learn how to. And by the way, this is going to affect your sketching. It's going to affect your final drawings, all that kind of stuff. You've got to learn how to show a lot of information when you're really not showing. It's indication, right?
Yeah.
Now, again, here, this cross hatching, what is that indicating?
I was just showing that the roof had like a different texture than the actual house, because the house just had paint.
But why not just give me the shingles?
Oh, like the individual lines?
Well, I mean, I don't know what kind of shingles they are, but I mean, I can just do this
that
pretty
too.
quick. And then some of them have these kind of shingles. And again, I don't have to do them everywhere. I just got to kind of indicate them, blah, 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 right?
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to just show that it had a little bit of texture, but I'll do with that from now on.
Yeah. And by the way, when you see, I go over this in my Saturday class. When you see text or shingles from a distance, they kind of are texture, but they still have a little bit of uniformity to them, but they're texture, okay? When you see a tree from a distance, it's not leaves, it's texture. When you see a tree trunk from a distance, it's not a trunk, it's texture. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you see foliage from a distance, it's not foliage anymore, it's texture. Now you have to learn how to interpret that, and I'll go over that next week. But what you want to do, and I'm going to show a guy here in a minute who's really good at simplification. Anyway, but you're going to go with Victorian, correct?
I don't know, because I'm not like hard set on this style. I'm really open to exploring more. So,
All right, if you're gonna explore more, then take that as an opportunity. Sorry. To go and try this like fast thumbnailing kind of thing and indication. I'm gonna help you, right? So when you bring them back into class, I'll go over them with you and stuff like that. And I don't know if I mentioned in this class, I'm gonna I'm gonna try and start doing a weekly open discussion Zoom meeting. Okay. Did I mention it in here already? Elan?
No, you did not.
Okay.
No, you did not.
Okay, so it'll be open. I'm just gonna do it for all my classes at the same time because that makes sense. I'm gonna put it on under announcements like everything else. It'll say open discussion probably, and it's gonna be like if you go, hey, I did a couple thumbnails, I'm gonna come in and talk about them. You do not have to tell me you're gonna be there. You do not have to tell me you're not gonna be there. You don't have to be there. It's 100% just if you want to come in and talk about some stuff, you know, outside of class or whatever, and it'll just be open to whatever you want to talk about. I don't care. Does that make sense?
So like office hours.
Yeah, kind of. But it's going to be a little more in depth than that, I think. Yeah, it is kind of like office hours. But
Okay.
I like the
Sounds
idea
good.
of just having an open discussion, you know. So I'll put it in all my classes, probably all of them. And again, it's not an obligation. If I go in there and there's nobody in there, it's fine, okay? And then if I go in there and there's 5, 10 people, that's cool too. I don't care. I'm just doing it to make myself available as a resource, and that's it, okay? So there's no obligation. I'm not going to get pissed if nobody goes. I'm not going to do any of that stuff, okay? Does that make sense?
you know
Sounds
what
good.
days I have it on?
I think probably Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays and or Thursday.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
That's my
I
guess.
also had,
I'll probably bounce it around. You know, I'll probably bounce it around a little bit. Okay.
I also had a little bit of trouble with the perspective tool. I don't know if it was just my system, but it was only letting me draw vertical lines and not any of the horizontal, like angled lines. So I had to rely on like the ruler for most of the time.
Also make sure that you don't have that magnetic thing on because it might be snapping to something. Because that's
Oh.
a grid kind of thing.
Okay.
And then if not, then next time we're in here, I want to maybe I can make it. We can share your screen and we can look at it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Because I want to make sure that we're working through all the problems of you know, software. Okay. Because we do have to get good at the software. Okay. I know we're talking about a lot about drawing and all that stuff, but I have to have a vehicle for you guys to get good at the software. Okay. And the vehicle is a project, which is what we're doing. Okay, let me see if there's any. Okay, does anybody have any questions? You know, because I'm just kind of going through them here.
Yes,
What do you got?
I am. For late work,
The what?
if I turn in my assignment late, will I still get at least half of credit?
After today, do I have your stuff? I have your stuff. Oh, no, I don't. It's empty. After today, if it's like, let's say it's a minute late, I'll knock half the points off. And then if it's like days late, I'm just going to mark it as a 0. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh shit.
And by the way, that number one, I just think that's, you got to do it in any class. But again, we're talking about an industry that's completely deadline driven. If you don't hit your deadlines, you're in trouble, man, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So this week, you know, get them to me. It's a free pass because it's the first thing. I understand we have to figure out where everything goes, whatever. Okay. But after this week, let's get, don't do your, in any class, don't do your work 10 minutes before class. That's like the worst thing you can do. And by the way, get your stuff in there earlier, you know, within an hour or something. Because Murphy's Law says, if you go, I'm going to put these things in 5 minutes before class, Murphy's Law for sure will make that something go wrong, okay? Something will go wrong, okay? Every time that I'm pressed for time, that's what happens, okay? Taylor.
Hi.
Okay.
So I did 4 different things on each page.
Is this like Googie style architecture kind of stuff?
It was just
Oh,
like
Vegas.
old Vegas. I've always
Okay.
been in that stuff.
You
Yeah.
know Googie, you know Googie architecture.
50s. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
Old Vegas kind of is Googie architecture.
Yeah.
I love the idea of all this old diner stuff and all that stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah. I was just like playing with the brushes on the corner one. So that's how that one's so
Oh, these are
dark
cool.
because I kind of figured that out. Thank you. It's a city that like my family's from in Death Valley or like Gateway of Death Valley. So I wanted to do some like studies on that because it's like
What city?
Beatty, Nevada.
What's it called?
Beatty.
Oh, I don't know that one. Do you know where?
Beatty. Mm-mm. This
Or
one's like right before,
French
or no,
Neck.
right after Death Valley and something else.
So you didn't grow up there?
No, I didn't grow up there.
Oh. A buddy of mine, he's a photographer, and he's just obsessed with like, he goes way out to like the middle of nowhere out there. And there's like, I didn't know this until he told me, there's little cabins that people keep up. But you have to know where they're at. Nobody will tell you. And they're in the middle of nowhere. You got to hike to them. You got to know where they're at. And he stays in those things all the time. It sounds really fun. I'm going to go with him.
That's cool.
He won't go in the summer.
Yeah,
though.
that sounds like a good time. Oh yeah, no, it's too hot. Winter or like fall is like perfect weather out
The
there.
heat doesn't bug me though. Maybe out there it would, but the heat doesn't really bother me. Except if I'm inside, then I don't like it. But anyway. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is cottages, right?
Mhm.
And then Art Deco Miami.
And then, yeah.
What are you leaning towards?
So if I'm going for more of a challenge, personally, I think it's going to be the Art Deco stuff, because with just like those really like thick lines and then like
Sure.
that big swoop for like, the staircase, you know what I mean? And then like the underlying stuff, but I tend to go towards the desert stuff or the Miami stuff because I think the cottages is way too easy for me. Like I'm kind of used to it. Because they're more like house, like it's just drawing a house, but like with like stones and all the other textures. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning in between the desert one and
I like the desert one. My vote's for the desert. I love the desert stuff. You know, it's up to you obviously, but I vote for. I just love the desert. So, and nobody ever does that. Like I've never had anybody go, I want to do desert stuff. Nobody ever says that. Okay.
Right.
And I love that you're focusing in on these funky signs,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
What's your
That's
major?
my favorite stuff. And it's weird. I'm doing the environment arts, wow, I'm tired. Entertainment arts and illustration. I'm just like in between both of those. Not really sure what I want to do yet, but I'm just kind of like figuring out like where I stand with everything.
What do you like illustration wise?
I really like drawing buildings, so this was a really good like exercise for me.
Well, you could focus on on environmental entertainment stuff.
That's
Totally.
true.
You
Yeah.
know? I mean, that's a big field.
Yeah.
So treat it like that. Give this a backstory in your head.
Right.
I always like to give it a stylistic thing. Like, is it for kids? Is it for kids 6 to 10? Is it for tweens? Is it, whatever. And then it can give you a little bit of a stylistic point of view. Now, I don't mean like go, and sometimes I'll go like, I always bring Monsters Inc. or whatever, probably because the styling was so specific. But if you kind of go, it's sort of like this, you know what I mean? Because if you look at like kids programming and stuff, I mean, it tends to have a similar, if it's small kids, it tends to get chubbier and softer and rounder and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So whatever your style, and stylistic point of view could be whatever you want, right? Could be much more sophisticated and older, like Big Hero 6 was, right? Still very stylized,
Right.
not totally kid, right? Little hipper.
Yeah.
Could be Blade Runner. Could be, I don't know, whatever you want. Okay. I mean, that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
And how long you been at Fullerton?
I always pay attention to stuff like that because I have nieces and nephews. Let me think. So I want to say like maybe like 3 years so far.
How long?
Like I was kind of went 3 years. Like I started doing art and then I was like, okay, like let me try something else. And I tried doing like environmental science because I was like, you know what, like I could just be a ranger and then like draw nature. So it was still linked to art, but I'm not really that good at math. So then I gave up on that. And then I just went back into doing art last semester. So
how old are you?
Doing classes and stuff.
Happy.
How old are you?
Birthday.
What is it? You're cutting out.
Oh, telling my Wi-Fi. 21, if you could hear me now.
Okay, so what I always tell people is,
Yeah.
and you're finding it, so I get it. But because that's what I like about City Colleges, you can kind of find it without breaking your bank. But figure it out.
Right.
And then focus, you know, because I always say we're a two-year institution, get out of here in 2 years, right? On to the next thing, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
Now you went down this other path and all that, and I get it. But always be thinking, and talk to me about it. Always be thinking about, like, if you go, I want to go to this school next, or whatever it is. Talk to me about it, okay? Because I want to make sure that all you guys, by the way, I want you guys to do that. And get a target. Like I always say, you cannot hit a target if you don't know what the hell the target is. Obviously, right? So you gotta have a target. And it makes it much easier to hit a goal. And then we can set a goal, hit that, set a goal, hit that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? Okay, so hang on, you guys. All right, I know I missed one or two. Like, really?
He's still on the participants list, but he's just gone.
Who? What are you talking about?
Oh, well, you're back. You thought you're dead.
They said what now?
We thought
Right
you were
when
gone.
you started your sentence. Yeah, and then you just like cut off.
I don't know what the hell's
Yeah.
going on. This drives me crazy. And then some days it's like, right on, it's great. You know what I mean? It's just irritating. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I went through everybody's, right? I think I did. So real quick. Okay, so some of you guys, there's a couple of you guys I haven't seen just because I don't have them yet. But I will look at them. I will send you an email or something. So Danielle?
Yeah.
I'll send you an email, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm going to give this one a free pass. It's first time. It's fine. And also, okay, so what I want you guys to do is kind of go, either if I said to sort of figure it out a little more, then figure it out a little more. But for you guys that you kind of have a point of view, and I said start figuring it out, your stylistic point of view, that's what I want to see the next time, right? I'm going to say a minimum of 2 pages, but just do as much as you want. If you figure it out in 2 pages, that's totally fine, okay? I would guess it'll take a little more. I'm just going to keep this at 11 by 17 for a while. It's a size that I kind of like. 11 by 17. Folder, now we know the routine. The folder is always going to be on the announcements, so on and so forth, right? This thing I'll edit, I'll put it up online, so on and so forth, okay? Make sure that you guys know you don't have school on Monday, okay? And then I'm going to start figuring out this open discussion. If I get to it this week, fine. If not, I'll start doing it next week. Also, you guys, if you're having any kind of problems, tell me so I can schedule a Zoom meeting with you and we just go over it. It doesn't have to be in that open discussion. It could just be a one-on-one thing, and that's fine too, okay? And I always say this in every class. We're all locked up. Usually I live on campus during the term when we're on campus, and I'm just always there. So I always go, my office hours are kind of BS. I have to say I have office hours, but I'm usually pretty willing to, because I live there, I just go, well, just tell me when you're here. I'm probably here, as long as I'm not in class. And it's kind of the same thing with this. It's sort of like, if you need some help, I want to one-on-one with you guys, okay? I do not want anybody getting behind. I don't want anybody getting confused. Everybody hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
want anybody getting,
I do.
I don't want anybody getting behind. I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, this is a stupid question. And I
Yep.
want to make sure that you're understanding everything, like, you know, about all this stuff. I don't want anybody getting lost about anything. And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
show you this guy real quick. He never changes his website, which kind of drives me crazy. And I'm just showing you this guy for stylistic stuff and simplicity, okay?
So my quick question,
That's not quick enough. Did you cut
sorry.
off?
When you say work on like a stylist, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
When you say if you want us to work on a stylistic point of view, can you give a quick demonstration on exactly what you're looking for?
Well, it's sort of this guy, which is what I'm just going to talk about. So let's go here. This, you know where, can you guys see that? You guys see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this thing down here. Mickey's house, right? Now that's started off with it's like a typical bungalow house. But he's pushed it. In this case, he's pushing it in sort of a cartoony direction. That's a point of view that I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Stylistic point of view. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like what I showed you with the early ones I showed you in my thumbnails. Those all had a stylistic point of view. They just weren't straight drawings. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So what I'm trying to get to, and some of you guys, I get it. If you haven't done this before, I'm going to I'll pull back a little bit on all the stylistic stuff, and hopefully you can just get the idea of this, you know. But some of you, you know, if you guys have some more experience, I want you to have a stylistic point of view. Well, the thing I always liked about Don Carson is look at this stuff. It's just so simple, but it's just great. You know what I mean? And I always talk about this guy because I remember I never met him, but he was working over at Imagineering when I was over there. And every time you'd see a presentation board, and they're big, they're like 8 feet wide, like 4 feet high maybe. And he would, every time there was a Don Carson sketches on there, you know, because there's a lot of drawings on all these boards and everything, and that's what you put up in the presentation. There'd be, I don't know, 25 drawings on this board, your eye would go right to Don Carson stuff, man, because it just read like crazy. It was super simple, super punchy, and it pissed me off, okay? Because every time you looked at his stuff, you're like, God damn it, his stuff just pops off the board all the time, you know what I mean? Your eye is going to go to his stuff, okay? And I love the simplicity of it. What I was going to say, though, does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I love his, and these are small, which drives me crazy, but like when he's doing these little thumbnails, look how simple they are.
Yeah.
And then the ones that, like, look at this, the little lines for the thatched roof. Look at this one. Like, look at this one right here. Right? They're just
Yeah, those are nice.
Oh, they're great, right? And when you want an art director to love you, this is your sketches. Okay? Like your early sketches.
Gotcha.
Will fall in love with you. Okay?
Got it. Okay.
These are so clear and so designed and so communicative. I got it. You know what I mean? Like if you like this stuff, you're like, go. Like if I looked at Dawn's stuff and I was art directing, it'd probably be like, look at it, go. You know what I mean? Like, you know, go. But this is a very Visconti style, okay? And Visconti styles work really well for these early drawings, okay? I'm not as big on them once we start going to the final. Then I want it to get a little more illustrative. And I want you to know both, okay? Also look at his styling on things like the simplicity of this little palm tree, okay? I mean, it's just a bunch of great, look how he stylized the flame. a different version of a palm tree. And we can get into all this stuff. We'll get into this kind of stuff further. Okay, and the other thing I want you to look at is how he's using his line weight to make these things punchy. Does that make sense? I'm going to beat you to death on that, okay? That make sense?
Yeah. Yep. How many
So-
sketches per page?
Mike,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be our homework, right? To look up some Disney things?
No, I never said that.
Oh,
Somebody else was saying something. What'd you say?
Oh, I just asked how many sketches would you like per page?
Just, I don't want to like put a thing. Okay, look, here's what I would say. I mean, if you look
Page,
at
like round.
the pages you guys did are kind of how I want them. Okay. If I have an 11 by 17 inch sheet, I'm probably going to do, because I don't want to put a page number on it, because then it starts to go, here's what I don't want. I don't want, okay, here's my idea, and you take up the whole page. So now it's not a sketch anymore. Now it's not a thumbnail anymore. It's a drawing. And you know what that's going to do? It's going to trigger your finished brain, and you're going to go, well, now you gotta sit here and spend an hour and a half on it, because now I've spent so much time on it. Oh, and it looks like crap. So now I got to try and finish it. So I'm going to sit here and beat this piece of crap to death and polish this turd for the next 2 hours, and it's always going to look bad. Move on. That's why you work small. Does that make sense? Because then when I go, wow, this thing sucks, I do another one. So what I want here is something like this. Okay? I would want, and you guys are already doing it. Okay? But hang on.
So do you want us to take the buildings we did already and then stylize them and simplify them?
If I said, it looks like you know, I'm cool with the stylistic direction you're going, yes.
Okay.
If I said knock out a few more, I don't think they're quite there yet, then give me a little more of what we did this, you know, prior to this.
Okay.
But if I was doing this, so annoying. You know, I might have a building here. You know, and I'll go, oh, this will come out here, and there's going to be a board here that comes out like that, and maybe this and this and this and this, and my thing, and there's one idea. Okay, well, now, you know, maybe I got one's a little bigger. You know, I'm exploring this. Maybe there's another one up here. It's a little smaller. You know, I just want you to explore, okay? And I don't want 2 per page or 1 big one per page. But I also don't want to stifle how you work on a page. Like, I don't want you sitting around and go, Mike said I got to have 4 on every page. No, okay? This is your process, and we have to start developing it to be your process, okay? And everybody's going to, I'm going to show you all this, like the stuff you just saw with Don Carson. I'm going to really lean on you about all that line stuff and show you how all that works, okay? And how you can punch your thumbnails, because that stuff works great, thumbnails, just like his work. And he's a good guy to go look at. I'll put a link up. So I don't want to, it's 11 by 17, and just, you know, have at it, basically, and solve your problem. Okay. I want you to solve your design problems. That's what I want you to do. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
And then hopefully next week, our next class, we're sort of on path to that. And then we can start working on the bigger picture. Does that make sense? And I'll probably take just 1 or 2 next time, and go, here's how I would punch the lines, and here's how I'd make it better. And I'll try and focus just on one, I don't know, 2 or 3 pages, so I don't go through all of them like that. Okay? Yeah?
Yes.
Mr. Sihan?
Yeah.
I have one question about any other further assignments. Did I tell you that I might be sent in late, or I forgot to do it?
Hey, what now?
Did I tell you that I forgot to do it?
Yeah, you already told me.
Okay.
Okay.
Will I still have to do the other 2 pages?
It's 4 o'clock.
If I didn't.
You have the last 4 you got to do, so I get those done, because I don't have anything, so I've got to see something. Okay. Like Danielle was a little bit late because she had some kind of computer problem. I'm going to look at hers offline. I don't have anything from you. Okay.
Cool.
So I've got to get some point of view, otherwise I don't know what you're doing, okay? And the only way I can do that is to see roughs, okay? Hang on.
Thank you.
Hang on.
Mike?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just editing our work.
Say it again, you cut out.
Okay, our homework is to edit our architecture, like edit some things or something like
I
that.
haven't seen yours yet. So yeah, I got to get your full pages.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do one more.
Okay, get it done. So that's what you got.
I'll turn it in. I'll send you an email.
Okay, I'm gonna reopen the folder. I'll link it. I want to get these done. I want to get whoever owes me anything. Danielle, don't worry about it. I'll take yours off Canvas. Anybody owes me anything, get it in there today because I don't want to start. I'll actually leave today's date on it, I guess, for now. And then I want to pull those out of there, and then I have everybody's, and then I can rename because I want the folder to go to whatever the next class is. I have to keep that organized, otherwise it starts getting all screwy on me. Okay. And I'll put the assignment up right after this. Okay. And the video as soon as I get it edited, which hopefully will be pretty quick. Mackenzie, do you have a question?
Yeah. Did you want me to still do the style?
Say it again.
So I didn't.
You keep
style. Can I
put it in the? Can you put it in the chat because you're cutting in and out?
Oh, okay.
No color. No shading, no color. I want this all line. I'm going to teach you line quality, okay, and line control.
So you upload the recording, the assignment to YouTube, right?
I always do.
Oh.
No color, no value, okay? I want all the value to be shown through line. Now I'll go over that with you. Don't worry about it. I mean, I've gone over it a little bit, but I'll go over it more. Okay, Mackenzie, what was it? Oh, there you were. Since I didn't finish the whole did I say that the style was okay? Mackenzie?
I think she's gonna type it out.
Oh, okay. Elan's the moderator. I gotta get up early tomorrow. It sucks.
I think we didn't have that many issues with cutting in and out.
I am. On this end, man, it's a mess. I don't know what's going on.
Do you think an Ethernet cable might help?
I don't know. It shouldn't be. I mean, it shouldn't be that big a deal because, like, all day today, of course, my computer's been fine. And then as soon as I go into a meeting, it starts doing all this weird stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to the cable company and go, is there a second tier of this or something? I hate the cable company, but whatever. Right now I just don't care. If that's what I gotta do, fine. I don't care. But I'll figure it out. And it also might just be today. It could be a lot of traffic on the internet. It could be a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Has it been the same issue with other classes? With your other classes?
It's sporadic. No, like I think my class last night was fine.
Oh, interesting.
Like right now, you're not cutting in and out all of a sudden. You know why? Murphy's Law. We're almost done with the class. Mackenzie, if I said they looked okay to go, they're okay to go, but don't ever miss how many pages you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it was the.
See, now she cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. And now I can't. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat because you're just going in and out. Oh, no, you got to explore a little more. I think I said explore a little more. Okay. All right, you guys, I have any other questions?
When can we do the discussion meeting?
I don't know. I'll put it up on announcements.
Okay.
When's the 2 pages for stylization point of view due?
Next class.
So next Tuesday.
Yeah. I'll put it up.
Got
I'll
it.
put it up under assignments.
Got it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Anybody who I haven't got something from, get it in there. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you guys. I'm gonna let you go. I'm over. I'm 1 minute over. Okay.
Thanks,
Okay, you guys. Thank you. I will talk to you on Tuesday. I will try to figure out this.
Mike.